JKB back with another episode. Today I'm reviewing For Honor in the show. Thank you so much to Ubisoft for sending over 2 copies, which let me play with my good friend Derek, and we had such a blast with this game. But before I get into the review, just a special announcement back there. My birthday was yesterday. Thank you to my girlfriend who, honestly, it's the reason I haven't been around is my Opa passed away. You know, some people don't want to talk about personal things on the show. I didn't really want to bring it up to you guys, but I gotta be honest, I'm not over it yet, but my girlfriend has been incredible, and I'm talking directly to her right now. Thank you for everything. My birthday is insane, guys. She's done so thank her in the comments below, because without my girlfriend right now, I'd be alone in my room, and I'd be way worse off. She got me those. You know what those are, folks. I'm gonna put those on my fucking belly and let them melt. Then just let the fucking cream and everything just fall into my mouth. But right there's something else. Samsung. If you know what that is back there, then you know I'm so happy. Samsung decided to send me a monitor for review on my birthday, and they said you can keep it. It's a dot matrix display, and it's curved. It is unbelievable. It's incredible. But I reviewed For Honor on that monitor. I've been missing out. I've been playing on my usual TV, which is back here. It's great. It's a Samsung as well, but that monitor I'm going to review on the show after the Switch comes out, because I want to cover all of the different consoles on that before I do a full review. But I'm going to tell you now, that changed my whole vision of gaming. Unbelievable. So thank you to Samsung for sending that over. I'll be doing a full review of that. And Ubisoft, thank you for the review copies. Let's get into For Honor. Should you go out there and pick this game up? Well, it's all going to come down to what your play style is here, because this is the type of game that's going to cause you to break controllers. This is the type of game that isn't necessarily, quote unquote, a video game. It's more like a simulation of an epic battle. And I know, yes, this sounds cheesy. They really pulled it off. The game is really broken up into 2 sections, multiplayer and single player. Before I get into those things, though, a lot of people are going to say this in the reviews and all over the place. First and foremost, I wasn't able to play the game early because the servers were not online. So I've been playing with people that I know, people that have just got the game on day 1 as well. So nobody was ahead of anybody in this. Everybody was the same level, which was awesome to get into. And when I talk about the combat in this game, I'm talking about something that's unique, that I haven't seen in a video game for quite some time. It feels like they've decided to really go with like a core gameplay element that we haven't seen in any Assassin's Creed game, in any Far Cry game, in any Ubisoft game ever, period. But I'll say this, in any game ever, period. Because this is really something unique, but I gotta say, it's not for everybody. It's the type of game that's like a game of chess. It's like chess, like a game of chess? Chess? I don't know how to fucking speak. The point here is, guys, when you get into a battle in this game, it really does come down to one thing. Do you have the patience to learn the steep learning curve of this game? Because it's all about offense and defense. It's about building up your character with all the stats. The depth is there. Paid transactions are there as well, but you can unlock everything by just playing the game. Of course, there's DLC coming, there's a season pass, all of that stuff's included, but the thing that really stood out to me about For Honor is I was in Montreal at the studio, and this is by all means not a paid endorsement. Ubisoft's not paying me to say any of this. I have to say, this is the most passion I've seen in any of their projects for quite some time. I talked to one of the developers in Montreal who made the game, and the passion in this guy's eyes while he talked to me really does come across in the game. What they set out to do really is in this game. It's not perfect, and I'll get into the cons, but let me try to explain the combat in this game, because that's all the game is about. It's about this one-on-one battle Your warrior versus the opponent on screen. You choose your warrior. And when I say that they have different abilities, different stances, different weapons, different everything, and they feel different from one another, I truly mean that. And that's where the game had to be nailed perfectly, and they did do that. Secondary here, we have to talk about the actual combat. Did they nail that perfectly? Abso-fucking-lutely, they did this in this game. Now, there's parts of the game that aren't perfect, but it comes down to the core elements, because you will just be simply, this is all this game is about, running up to another character on screen, hack and slash, but it's mixed in with a block and attack system. This uses the right analog stick. So when you run up to somebody, you have 3 different stances. You've got your up, your bottom right, your bottom left. You can also block on the up and the bottom right and the bottom left. However, there's abilities, special abilities that you also have to block. Then there's special blocking abilities. There's also a sort of a break the barrier button, which is the X button that will essentially, anybody with a shield, like the Vikings use a lot of shields, you'll do a special move and you'll be able to break that shield away and give you an opportunity to swing your blade if you're one of the samurais or if you're one of the knights, and cut the guy in the neck and get some serious damage in on him. There's also obviously perks that are in the battlefield, and that is all the game is. There's a lot of people out there that are saying, like, does this have the longevity needed in a game? I really put this up against something like, you know, Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six is like bust into the house, shoot the terrorists, or be a terrorist and just kill the guys coming in the room. That's all that game was about, and that game's massive for Ubisoft right now. This game here is all simply about the battle. And I really can't answer for everybody out there if it's going to last 6, 7, 8 months for everybody out there, but I'm going to tell you this. The amount of time you spend on it right off the bat is really worth the amount that you have to pay for this, because there's some serious coding going on in this game with its animations and its fighting system and the abilities and everything that comes together. Might seem like a little small package, but the depth is beyond what they're showing you with the gameplay, trailers, and all of the other, videos they've released. It's not really showing that. As for the single player, you're going to have 3 different factions, so 3 different stories that you can go through. You've got your Vikings, Samurai, and your Knights. They're going to teach you about the 3 factions. That's what the single player is going to do. It's going to introduce you to badass characters, badass writing, badass events that take place, real-time events, simple events like go into a village, burn down someone's house. Go to the next house, burn that down. There's your mission. Or become one of the Knights' sort of spies, go around, spy on a village, kill a bunch of people from ledges and stuff like that. That's what single player is. It's short, but it's very sweet. The bulk of this game is going to go into the multiplayer. The single player campaign, of course, has its own reward system and XP system and all of that stuff, but the multiplayer is really where you're going to be spending the most of your time. The single player is going to basically be a long tutorial to kind of get you into the mood, the tone. I could say that there are obviously much better single-player games out there, like single-player campaign games. But I mean, as a multiplayer game, there's like nothing quite like this right now. I think that you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. If you are the type of person that likes to play a video game to get a high score, jump around, have a good time, swing a sword by just simply hitting an X button like God of War, or even like Demon's Souls, this is a strategy game above that. So if you're not the type of person that really wants to get into being a better gamer at heart with concentration and focus in a game, and I'm talking about things like, I'm talking about endurance, because some of these little battles that happen between the players last 10-15 minutes based on how good each player is. Because if I swing at a player, he blocks, he could swing back, and then we also mix in the 3 different stances and the special abilities and also the combo breakers, and there's combos in this, of course, so you can do a light and a strong attack, and it just goes back and forth. And it's just something I've never experienced in a game, and that was really where I thought, man, this is like Game of the Year material, because yes, it's simple. It's just a simple little fighting game, quote unquote. It's a little fighting game, but the depth of all of the different characters, different classes, the multiplayer is there. It's just one of these weird games that I can't really explain. It's like it addicts you. It's like an addiction of this satisfaction that you don't quite get in any other games out there. In Battlefield 1 that just came out recently, you'll kill like 6 people in a row and you get that adrenaline rush. But this is a little different because it's a one-on-one battle, or sometimes it's 2-on-1 or it's 3-on-1, and it gets ridiculous. But to explain it in a gamer, you know, heart to heart here, because this is a lot of money nowadays. A game is worth hundreds. Over here, it's $100 for the gold edition. So I want you guys to make the right decision. So in saying all of everything I said, I'm going to get to the good and the bad. So I'll go to the bad first. It can be clunky, and the learning curve is astronomical. It is insane. For some of these fighters, it's a serious sim. This is a real fighting game. This isn't you know, just a hack and slash, hit the X button, hit the Y button, you've done a combo. It is that, but it also is like, do that, but also pay attention to how your stance is and how you're blocking, because he can do everything you're doing. There's long range attacks, there's close ranged fighters, there's all sorts of different aspects of fighting in this game. Different stance, different art styles, everything. You know, I keep thinking about the negative here. It's like there's not much music. Like it's really toned down, so it's not like you're gonna be like, oh, jacked up. The only parts that really get you jacked up, and I'll get into the good here, is when you kill somebody in this game after an epic battle of back and forth. It is so rewarding. I've never played a game this rewarding since I don't even know when. I have no idea the last time I played a game where I felt like I achieved something in life. You know, like a lot of gamers play games out there because, to be honest, I'm just being honest here. I always say, like, to be honest, like, I'm always be fucking honest. I don't know why I say that. Maybe to push my point across here, but I play games because maybe my parents or maybe my teachers didn't say I did good enough in school, but in a game, when you beat somebody as a gamer, you fucking see it on screen. And you get a reward. Boom, it just happens. That's one reason why people play video games. And I have to admit, that's one reason I do play video games. And in this game, the rewards are just so... oh, it feels so good to wipe out a whole team of 4 players. There's nothing like it. So, in terms of the reason you should pick up this game is, if you're wanting a challenge back in video games and you're okay with the fact that this is going to be simply based on combat and that is it. The strategy with the teammates is there, but it really does come down to the one-on-one battles that will be taking place all over the battlefield. If you're into very close combat or even a short-range combat, sort of figuring out how to do a combo and block fighting game, there's no other genre like this out there. It really is kind of like a Demon Souls, Dark Souls thing a little bit. You know, you've got your roll and your dodging and all of that stuff, but it's just this one-on-one intense battle that just fucking feels good. When you get your ass handed to you, the game's For Honor. I felt myself so aggravated, but you gotta give a round of applause to the people who are kicking your ass, because it's not an easy game at all. You'll get your ass handed to you for the first hour and a half. The multiplayer, I have to say this in the negative side of things. Of course, Ubisoft servers can't handle the amount of people playing this, so it's been a bit of a disaster for me. That's not going to lose points anymore. I've decided, like, yeah, we can sit here and whine, but of course it's going to be patched, and the Vikings are, like, completely and just utterly OP, so that's being fixed in a patch as well, but I have to bring it up in the review. That's just how the game came out. There are multiple ways to level up your character. Daily challenges to get XP. You use steel, which is the in-game currency that allows you to upgrade your characters. This game is fucking awesome. If you're into that genre, that's all I gotta say. So do you go out and buy this? If you're the type of person that just plays straightforward video games, and I mean like games that aren't designed to really push you, just to have a little bit of fun, you might want to kind of wait for this game and avoid it. Maybe look at something, look at your friends playing it. But if you're into Dark Souls, Demon Souls, holy shit, there's a treat waiting for you right now, and it's called For Honor. Had an absolute blast. I'm going to say this now. It's going on to my Game of the Year list. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, there are problems with the game. They're going to be patched. I'm not going to cry about that anymore on the show. Who gives a shit? We all know games come out. They need to be patched. Deal with it. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the nice things everybody's been saying to me about my Opa who passed away. I said at the beginning, it hasn't been easy for me, but I just want to do the show, have fun, and I'm passionate about gaming. Sometimes I lose that passion. You know, when somebody passes away in your life and you're close to them, you got to take time away. I had to take time. So I appreciate everybody that understands that. So thank you. And that Samsung monitor, holy crap. I mean, it actually changed the way I looked at gaming. I put it on and I was just like, I've been missing this. Couldn't believe it. So review coming for that. Next review will be Halo Wars 2, and then a million games after that. Thank you so much. I missed you guys. See you on the next episode, JKB. Time to go eat those. I'm going to eat them all right now.